So this shamrock frame wreath is done in two parts. We're going to start with the stem, which is the separate 9-foot piece of cord, and then we're going to put the 50-foot piece of cord on, starting on the left and square knotting all the way around. You're going to need two pieces, one 9-foot section and one 50-foot section. You're going to start with the 9-foot section, and you're going to fold it in half very evenly and put it down through this top section right here. Pull it all the way through. And you're gonna just attach it with a lark's head. Make sure it's even. So there's your lark's head. And then you're just gonna square knot onto the stem. Try not to bump the camera. And I do 4 square knots onto the stem. Okay, so when you get your 4 square knots on the stem, you're going to take the 2 ends here, and on this side with the bump, you're going to go up and through and wrap it 3 times. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And then on this side, you're going to go down and you're going to wrap it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is what the stem will look like when it's all done. You're going to do a lark's head, 4 square knots, 3 wraps on each side, and then an overhand knot. Then you're going to take the 50-foot section. I like to start on the left-hand side. And you're going to do square knots. So basically, you're going to take the frame. The frame is going to be the core, and you're going to just square knot right onto it. This is a super easy project. As long as you know how to do square knots, you can do it. You're just going to square knot around the whole frame. It's a little bit tricky because of the curves, but you can make it work. I think as a rule of thumb, in each little section, I can get 3 to 4 square knots in it. So the rope is pretty thick, so you can't get a lot. You can kind of push it up as you do it. And this is definitely a workout because there's so much rope that you're pulling around. You can bundle it up and put elastic bands around it to make it a little bit easier. Okay, so see I got I will have 4 score knots on this first section here. So it'll be about 4 per section, straight section. So I'm counting like from here to here as a section. So here to here would be a section, here to here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and now I'm gonna turn the corner and do the next section. This is an easy project, but it's also a little tricky just because you're going around so many curves and the rope is pretty thick. So if you don't have a whole lot of practice with square knots, you should probably practice first before you start this. Okay, so here I have 1, 2, 3, and it looks like this section is pretty full, so I'm going to turn the corner. Okay, we're just about halfway. It's going to get faster and easier as you go along too, because you're going to be pulling less rope through. So we're coming down the home stretch now. Okay, there you go. So to finish this wreath, I'm going to turn it over, and on the back you're just going to cross the two ends, and I like to stitch them down. You can just get like a tapestry needle or an upholstery needle, just like a bigger needle. And I use a synthetic cord for stitching so that I can just melt it down when I'm done. So I just go through just a couple times. And then I knot it. And then I cut the ends. And I just, because this is a synthetic and you don't want it to fray out, I just melt the ends down a little bit. And then I melt the little bit of stitching that I just did too. And then you want to just trim where you did the overhand knot. And there's your wreath.